How to create repeat gradients in Photoshop. Now, got this gradient design here, but in Photoshop, there's no way of repeating it multiple times. So you can do it via patterns. And now, key thing here is to actually use the reflected gradient type, and that's the fourth one along. And I'm just setting the gradient itself. I'm using the gradient tool, and I'm using the gradient, and I'm using normal. And I'm just going to use some guides because I want to go from the center. That's the key thing here. So I'm going to go from the center. So view, new guide layout, and I'm setting number 4 and 4. Click OK, and you can then go to the center there. Hold down the shift key, and then just drag out from the center. So you can just drag out. You can go as far as the edges. Up to you. You can go as far as you want, but it'd be reflected. So basically, you can see the orange there, orange on the other side. And you can repeat that obviously multiple times until you're happy with the actual gradient you've got. And it's seamless. It's a lovely seamless tile. What you can then use is the edit menu and define pattern. Just go to there, edit and define pattern, click OK. And now I say you can also use, say, like a blending mode for the gradient, set it to difference, and then just drag out slightly. You don't have to go all the way out to the edge, but just then you can apply again, edit and define pattern again, click OK, and you can repeat that again and again and again. Of course, you can vary the actual gradient itself. You don't have to use the same gradient. You can also define multiple gradients and create those, and then click OK again. So once you're happy with that, you can of course get rid of the guides once you're finished. So you can clear guides via the view menu. And now what you can do, just go to layer menu and the new fill layer. So layer, new fill layer and pattern. Click OK, and of course give it a name if you want. I'm not going to there. And you can see the pattern you created. Now you can just drag that around. It's a seamless design now. You can also modify the scale, so you can set it to 50. And you can see it's repeated. So you've got the purple, orange, green, etc., repeated over and over and over again. You can set the scale to 10, 15, whatever you want. Okay. And again, you can change that again. So you can see 10 there or 100. Up to you what you want to actually set it as. Now, the key thing here is actually use it as a layer and then as a smart object. So you can go to layer and smart objects and convert to smart object. Because what I want to do is actually want to rotate it. Because the one thing, of course, limitation here is there's no rotation in the patterns in Photoshop. Many applications have this rotate feature. Photoshop doesn't have that. So transform and rotate. So now you can rotate it. So just drag that out and then just rotate that design. You can see it rotated. And you can still see that obviously it's... Now, key thing about here is you can actually edit it. So you just go to, there's a little icon there, just down there, just double click on that. And you can actually go into the actual pattern. And also what you can do then is actually double click the pattern and bring up the pattern fill. And what you can do, you can set the, say 25 for the scale, 10, whatever. And you can see you've got the number of repeats. The more obviously you can change it. If you've got 10, obviously you've got more sort of purple, green, orange, etc. And then once you come out, you can see the design has been reflected in the actual earlier smart object there. So you can just drag that out and modify that a bit. And you can see again, you've got that repeat pattern, repeat gradient design. And again, you can edit that again. Click that, double click on that, edit the smart object, and maybe change some other settings, up to you. So you can actually tweak it, double click on that again, and then maybe change the gradient. So you can see the ones that I've created earlier, and also some created earlier as well, before that. And again, you can set the scale, say that time 25, click OK, save that. And once you come out, you can see you've got your repeat gradient rotated. And again, you can just double click on that if you want to edit it. Again and again, you can just modify it multiple times. Maybe make it 5, click OK, save again, and you can see again you've got your lovely repeat design. Now you don't have to have it at 45, you could have it 55, 57. You can also apply effects as well, so that's another great thing. So you can just go to, say, it's a smart object, so you can add smart filters, so filter, distort, and say twirl. So you've got, not only that, you've got a repeated gradient, but you've also got a repeated gradient with a twirl as well, which of course can be redefined over and over again. So now double click on that smart object, and once you're in there, double click on that to get the actual pattern, and you can modify that, say, to 50, 25, change the pattern if you want, or the gradient, obviously the underlying gradient. Then click save. Once you come out, you'll see the effect applied, and you've got the twirl there and repeats as well. So you've got the obviously purple, golden, etc., etc. Now, also what you can do, if you actually decide, you know what, I want to add a new gradient, you can just go back and do exactly the same things you did earlier. So use the guides again, and again use the guides from the center. That's the key thing. So new guide layout, okay, and then select the gradient tool and change the gradient. Set the mode depending on what you want. And as long as it's a reflected one, it doesn't matter. Go from the center, hold the shift key down and just drag it out, and you can actually create all kinds of gradients just like that. So once you're happy with that gradient, go to edit, define pattern, click OK. And you can just get rid of that if you don't want that anymore. Of course, get rid of the guides if you don't want those as well. And again, you can then double click the smart object icon. Double click that, go in there, change it to the one you've just created, click OK, set the scale, yep, click OK, save it. And once you're outside, you can see the changes are then reflected in the gradient there. Right, and you can do that multiple times. You can also change and add more smart filters or whatever you want with that. Hope you found this of interest. Thank you very much. Please subscribe. Always adding new videos. Also, please add a comment. That'd be really great. A suggestion, etc. Thank you much. Bye.